We are now in Desjardins chapter 8 on the question of liability in business, and this is aspect 2. In order for us to have a good and thorough discussion of liability in business, we need to discuss three kinds of responsibility: the causal responsibility, fault responsibility, and accountability responsibility. There are three kinds of responsibility. Broadly speaking, we may say that responsibility is of three different kinds: causal, fault, and accountability. Causal responsibility refers to being responsible for causing a harm. For example, a driver that runs over a pedestrian is directly responsible for the harm to the pedestrian. The driver is the cause of the harm to the pedestrian. That is causal responsibility. At fault responsibility refers to being at fault for harm. It is possible to be the cause of a harm without being at fault for it. The driver, in the example above, may have been blinded by the sun, and so was not at fault for the harm they caused. On the other hand, the driver may also have chosen to check their text messages while driving. And in that case, they were definitely at fault for the accident. Right? So, two kinds of responsibility: causal and at fault. Third kind of responsibility: accountability. Accountability refers to being responsible for a harm for which one is not at fault, and of which one may not even be the cause. We can imagine another driver who stops and offers aid to the hit pedestrian, even though this driver was neither at fault nor the cause of the harm. Or we may imagine a GoFundMe, in which people who are neither the cause nor at fault for the harm to the injured pedestrian finance the pedestrian's medical treatments. Accountability is just taking care of the harm because it makes good moral or practical sense to, regardless of whether one is the cause of the harm or is at fault for the harm.